We are back. Thank you all for joining us today. Man, Briggsy.
What's up, sir?
How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I woke up today. It's a great day.
It is a great day. It is a great day. I mean, we get to do this right here. We get to do this right here again.
Yeah.
Super excited, man. Super excited to be
here
with
Briggs and Brown.
Briggs and Brown. Doing it again, man. I appreciate everybody that's joining us. Thank you, first off. And we're going to jump right into it, man. Give me the thoughts, man. Just a little preview or a little recap of that very, very winnable game that we thought we had down at Lucas Oil Stadium against Indianapolis Colts, man. We let one slip away.
The image that's stained in my mind is that fourth down or that goal line play with all the linemen on the ground and us thinking that we can get into the end zone, but we can't block a soul. You know, everybody on the ground looking over to see what's happening, and of course we don't convert on that. So that's one of the lasting memories I have of this past game.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair because I can't think of nothing else. All right, the play call, the fact that we called that play and then we didn't execute it as far as the players didn't execute it, and then come back and say that, well, it wasn't the look we had in practice. Well, damn, I mean, you might not get the look that you saw on the chalkboard or on the whiteboard in the meeting room. You might not get that look because they're just kind of spitballing. They're kind of going on tendencies, and sometimes they might break a tendency.
Might break it. Maybe they're looking at their own tendencies.
Yes. But you have to block somebody. You got to block somebody. You can't be laying on the ground because that's never going to work. So the best.
Do you remember this shirt right here?
Oh, I remember that shirt. Oh,
remember this?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
You know what I mean?
The sleeves out. I mean,
you know what I mean? Because this is the 90s cotton tee. This is 90s cotton right here. You know what I mean? It gets heavy when wet, so you got to cut the arms off.
So I do want to address this now. I want to address this, and we're showing our polls right here. How much of the blame goes to him? Because this was a problem last year with Justin Fields, and Justin Fields getting hit a lot, being harassed in the pocket, and now we're seeing the same thing. How much of this goes on Ryan Poles' shoulders? Because he goes out in the free agency, he picks up a running back. You're in the draft and you pick up a receiver. You're in the draft and you pick up a punter in the fourth round as opposed to trying to shore up some of that offensive line. So how much of this, if not all of it, goes to Ryan Poles?
Okay. Great question. Let's do it like this. How about we do it like this?
Okay.
Because you did bring up Fields. Okay. Since you brought up Fields. All right.
I hate that I brought up Fields now. I think I'm
you did. You did. All right. So let's look at it this way. Right now, Fields is playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. Yeah. He is in a system that is, number one, he's getting protected. All right. They run the ball. Okay. And they accentuate what he does best. There was he threw for 250 yards, but there were two pass plays that were called back. Okay. There was a touchdown and a pass play that would have put him well over 300 yards.
Let's not do that. Let's not do
that.
No.
But I want to, because you brought it up. And so I'm just thinking about this is if if the pieces were where they're supposed to be right now, you know what I mean? If he done the pieces where it's supposed to be with Caleb, we should be seeing the same success, is what I'm saying. We should be seeing the same success. So you say, how much is there to blame for Poles? I'm not saying that Justin leaving is the reason for us not being successful. I'm saying the pieces that are around the system, everything that's supposed to be around Caleb to allow him to be successful, or this offense to be productive, is not clicking. It's not clicking. So there's an angle to this. There's an angle to this.
So you think it's Ryan Poles'
fault? You see names. You see I threw out a name there, you know, and so all of a sudden you get defensive because you hear Justin Fields, you know.
I know.
No, it's not that. It's you asked the question, all right, and based off of your question, I'm giving an answer that says, okay, if these pieces and if all these pieces are together the way they're supposed to be, all right, we should see a lot more offensive production.
Well, so it's Ryan Poles. I think he had a chance to fix this a number of times, whether that was free agency or in the draft. And I think he trusted his guys too much. I think you look at what Braxton was able to do last year, and you're like, oh man, if he can take a step. Well, what if just spitballing here? What if that is his ceiling? What you saw last year, what if that's his ceiling? Because that's not what I want protecting the franchise of the team, which is why I got rid of Justin Fields and moved to go get Caleb Williams. I want a real left tackle protecting the blind side of my quarterback. That's it. Now everybody else got to do their job. I'm kind of mixed here on Davis. I really don't know why he chooses to keep Davis there when we've seen in the past when he makes a mistake, made a mistake with Claypool, gave up draft capital for Claypool, got rid of it ASAP when it didn't work. What is going on now? Why won't you cut the cord, cut ties on this one? And I don't understand why. I don't get it, but I mean,
well, Davis and Velus are connected at the hip. You know, you can't cut one without the other. It's a package deal.
Then they both can get on the Greyhound together.
Come on.
They both can get on the Greyhound together. So, like, let's go.
One-way tickets.
One way tickets. Wherever they want to go. I mean, since we're doing that now, Justin want to go, oh, I don't want to go there. I'm going to go to that. Can I go to Pittsburgh? All right, we're going to send you to Pittsburgh. Oh, well, then just tell us where you want to go.
Just tell us where you want to go.
Here. You gotta leave here.
Because if we don't find find some success, we're gonna be on the bus right behind you. They're gonna be on the bus right behind you.
100%. 100%. And the Waldron thing, I want to talk about this. I want to ask you this question because this has been on my mind for a little bit. And ever since, because I like Eberflus, because I'm a defensive kind of guy. So
fair.
Eberflus, how he coaches, you know, you're going to get your franchise quarterback. You go out and you get Waldron to be your OC, right? If Waldron is good, really good, and Caleb takes off, what's going to happen with Waldron? He's going to get a head coaching job.
He's going to get a head coaching job, yeah.
So what you're going to have to do is make a decision at that point, let's say 2 years from now, you're going to have to make a decision. Do I keep Waldron, the guy that's helped groom and help develop my quarterback, my franchise quarterback? Do I let him go, get a head coaching job somewhere else, or do I make him the head coach and get rid of Eberflus? And if that's the case, why not just do that from the beginning?
Well, the other thing to do is you bring in, a run coordinator or, somebody that's basically an understudy in preparation for his success, the departure, the quarterback's coach, somebody that is in that game that's heavy in the game planning, and somebody that's influential in that offensive staff room that you can say, okay, this is the next step in the line for us where we feel like we won't miss a beat, and let's say Waldron goes on and he doesn't find success, as a head coach. bring him on back. You know, you got a home here. And our next guy who's successful, he goes on to his next job. We bring Waldron back, kind of what you see in Kansas City.
Well, what you saw at Kansas City, what we saw at New England, when that coach, that offensive coach, left and came back, left again, came back. It's just
when McDaniels was fooling everybody.
Yes, he was fooling everybody.
Fooling everybody. Then he fooled him again. Good Lord.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. The other side of the ball, man. We don't like to talk about the other side of the ball that much because we give them that. We don't give them anything. I shouldn't say.
We don't give them. Yeah.
They're a good defense.
Yep.
How do they take the next step? How do they become a dominant defense? Because like I want to hear, how do they become a dominant defense to the point where it don't matter what the offense do? How do they do that? Is it the talent?
Well, I think it starts with fundamentals. I think it starts with fundamentals. I think it starts with the fundamentals and the idea of never allowing the crap to creep in. So when I say that, it means doing the tedious things each day that are boring, that coaches sometimes they'll let you slide because we're in the midseason form. So if you didn't break and sprint and touch and get a touch on the ball carrier, you know, it's one of those deals where it's, you know, they let it slide and it's like, you know, he knows what to do when the game comes around. You know, that's how you get out of being the dominant defense that you can be, you know, and each player begins to hold themselves accountable. So there's this transition from you hearing, you know, 6-7 defensive coaches yelling at you, get to the ball, take a strip, get the ball out, you know what I mean, score, to you hearing it from the men that are next to you. You know, everybody is like, no, we got to run. We got to, nope, we all got to go score. Nope, we all, you know, and it's you take this new pride in being sharp in your everyday fundamental of your defense, because we can put together a blitz package for this week. We can put together something because this is what we saw, this and that, but it's going to come down to our guys flying to the ball. Are you flying to the ball? Because it only works. Like I can sprint to the ball carrier in the open field. And I can take a shot. Okay. But if my corner is not hauling ass and the next linebacker, D lineman, and the safety's not hauling ass, then if I miss that tackle, it's a whole lot of green for that player. And there's a whole lot of options. You want to take away those options by being fundamentally sound and believing that when I take this shot, I'm going to run as hard as I can. I'm going to take this shot. I'm not slowing down. If he moves, everybody else is going to tee off on him because everybody's hauling. Yeah,
when you say that, you're saying like you're also saying take that shot on the right side. So if I'm the corner, I'm not allowing this receiver to get outside of me. If I'm going to take my shot, I'm going to take my shot at that outside leg and make him have to go back inside where the cavalry is coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Take proper angles. Don't take angles that they can cut back on. Break to the man, rubber band, and bend when he moves. It's, you know, but again, that's when you talk about how to be dominant. It's about doing the boring things, the things that you know really well. Like, oh man, I'm really sharp at this, but doesn't matter. You got to sharpen again every day. You got to come out. You got to sharpen that iron before you go start chopping that tree.
No, every day you got to.
Yeah.
Briggs, what's up, man?
What's happening, boys? Appreciate you guys giving the insight here. Just want to take a quick break before we do, or when we get on the other side of it. I got an interesting question I want to dial you guys up for, but just want to give everybody a quick reminder that if you become a diehard here at allchgo.com/diehard, you can get a lot of really sweet deals here. Free shirt right out the gate, discounts on events. You might have missed out on the Joe's on Wheat Street event, but we got plenty more events coming up here down the road. We're heading to Arizona. If you go to truefantravel.com, you can join that trip with us. It's going to be
already there.
Fun. Yeah. Well, and Briggs is already there. Exactly right. So you never know who you're going to run into when we go down for Bears Cardinals. We got tailgates coming up as well. So make sure we got the next one here this Sunday on the 29th, starting at 7:30 a.m. for the Bears Rams. But we have tailgates for every single home game. So if you go to allchgo.com/events, you can get your tickets to the tailgate. All you can eat, firewater barbecue, all the Miller Lite you want to drink, have fun with us, hang out. No better way to get ready for game day and kickoff than with the official CHGO tailgate, the absolute best in the city, gold standard in tailgating at the corner of Wabash and Cermak with our guys over at the Chicago Bears Tailgating Club. So I did want to dial because this is something I've been interested to ask you guys. Whenever I hear these stories from other players, it always kind of elicits some interesting responses. So I'll start with you, Brown, and then I want you to go, Briggs. But I want to ask you guys this. What is the toughest? We've seen Cole Kmet take some tough hits here the last couple of weeks, family member here at CHGO Sports and CHGO Bears. And I'm curious to know, when you got to the NFL, what's the hit that when anybody ever asks you this question, what is the first one that you think of? I'll start with you, Alex, then I'd love to hear your response as well, Lance.
Okay. I'm glad you clarified that, NFL, because I got knocked out in college on a kickoff or punt return. I got knocked out on the field, sleep. Like,
Lord.
Oh yeah.
Lord, no.
Woke up, you wake up to that salt.
Smelling sauce. Oh, they put the hand up and you dropped it 3 times. Oh.
But guess what? Guess what? About 3 plays later, I was back in the game. That's just how it is. You know how that works. Yeah.
Do you remember the guy's name, Alex?
No. I don't remember much about that whole game. I don't remember much about the game. But in the NFL, that hit came against the Jets. So the Jets they would line up tight end in front of me. So they line up in 2 tights. And my job, I need to secure this C gap. So I'm here, eyes inside. If that tight end goes away from me and that tackle blocks down, I don't get upfield. I have to close. So what I did was tight end went that way, tackle blocked down. I stepped up and was like, and that guard from the other side pulled and he hit me right here. Boom. Like everything, like, it's like little sparkles you see. I don't know if y'all ever been knocked out, but I saw some. I was like, oh man, yeah, everything kind of went a little shaky, and they gonna run right at you again. They're gonna see if you figured that out. So the next time they did it, I'm still a little fuzzy. So, and I closed down, and then I got the whole D line laughed at me, and during the session, during the film session. But that's what happens when you don't do your job right.
You gotta keep your head on a swivel. I would have thought it was Rudy Johnson from the Bengals. I would have thought Rudy Johnson from the Bengals. That was a tough go. That was a tough go for you. I remember that one.
For me.
Yeah. I thought that was a tough go for you, Rudy Johnson. Rudy Johnson. It was
what Rudy Johnson do?
What happened?
What Rudy Johnson do?
Rudy Johnson. It was. I want to say it was like 3rd and 3, maybe 3rd and maybe 4. It was like 3rd and 4. I think it was 3rd and 4. And you and I were on opposite. We were on opposite sides that play. We were on opposite sides.
Why do you remember this?
How do I remember this? Because of what I said to you on purpose. and it was like a lead, but we were in a 7-man front. So it was like a lead, and he bent it back. You were taking on a tackle, and Rudy dipped his head. He dipped his head, and he dipped his head into you and drove you back. You were kind of on skates a little bit. You were on skates a little bit, and so I'm pretty sure it was 3rd and 4. So Rudy gets about 5 yards, all right, and so I'm jogging over. Once he finally goes down, you pop up, right? And I was like, Alex, don't ever let nobody drive you like that, right? And you turned, you looked at me, and you were like, it was, all right. You were like, all right. That was so fun. I was dying inside. Like I was dying.
That was a funny one. That was a funny one. Yeah. I don't remember it being as a big hit, but
yeah, it wasn't a big hit.
The whole thing is the offensive tackle was on me too. So it took both of them.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. But you know,
can we get your big
you always got to check that dog though.
Can we get your dog? What's yours? What is yours?
You know what? I think I got blasted a lot. That's
we know.
A linebacker. That's part of being a linebacker. I'm pretty sure Clinton Portis was clipping people. You remember whenever there was an interception or something, or whatever it is, like Clinton Portis.
Yep.
I know there was a few times where he tried to when I saw him last minute and leaned into it. He was like, "Ooh, almost had you." But I think he got me. I think he got me once. But there was a play when we played the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, there's a play we played in the Minnesota Vikings, and the guy, his last name was Dixon. I don't know if it was David Dixon, but it was something Dixon. And on this play, he pulls. I come downhill to hit this guy, and he completely runs me over. Right, just bow, like I'm on the ground. You
hold on to the leg? You held on to the leg?
I didn't even hold on to the leg. Listen, the crazy thing about this play is my fit was wrong. I got trampled. I put my hand out, and it hit the running back's foot, and he went down. All right? This is crazy. Right? So when I'm watching the film with Bob Babbage, Babbage is like, negative on technique. He's like negative fit, low on the ground, but plus
positive make you play great. I do it.
Said, I don't know how you did it, but I stuck my hand out. I stuck my hand out, and his foot just so happened to hit at the right time, and he went down.
That is.
And the guy, David Dixon went to ASU.
Huh?
And the lineman that hit me, Dixon went to ASU.
Oh, he was trying to. So he really was trying to get out.
Oh, he was trying to hurt. Yeah, he was trying to hurt.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, let's flip the script here. And Briggs, I'll start with you and work way back to Alex. But the hardest hit you gave in your career.
Okay, so I hit a lot of people now.
See, we didn't ask that question. That's not the question we asked.
I know. It's like, which one? Pick one. All right, so we're playing Philadelphia. We're playing Philadelphia Eagles, and in the first drive, they throw a screen pass to Correll Buckhalter. Remember Correll Buckhalter, Nebraska? He was right after Lawrence Phillips. So they throw a screen pass to Correll Buckhalter. As he's running, I'm sprinting, right? And he's weaving through traffic, but he's staying straight down the line, right? And as I'm closing in, I'm like, this sucker does not see me. Like, he doesn't see me. Like, this is the dream. This is the dream. Because usually they see, it's something. But I'm telling you, when I didn't launch until I touched him. Like, I knew I put everything into this one. And I'm telling you, when I hit him, his legs they're doing this right here in the air, sideways like this, vertically. And you heard the whole crowd go, ooh. They replayed it. I mean, I'm telling you, they replayed that sucker. We have the same agents, right? We have the same agents. So I called Drew Rosenhaus after the game. He's like, listen, he said, I talked to Correll, and he goes, he's never been hit that hard before in his life, right? So, that's that. I'm telling you, that hit right there, I will never forget that hit.
That might be a hit. That might be a hit that Briggsy, that you remember.
Yeah.
That hit when you hit Megatron on that slant route.
Oh.
hit on
Donald Driver,
the Falcons receiver, Finnegan or something.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, I'm gonna need people. I'm gonna really need like people to put this stuff on Twitter or X and tag us on it, because I know y'all got it. Send them two right there. I thought he had killed both of them.
So there's a play when we played the Packers, right? We played the Packers, and I don't know who it was, but on one particular play, I get clipped from behind. Boom, right? And I get up and I'm like, who hit me? Right? I'm like, who hit me? I'm pissed. Right? And, yeah, somebody's like, hey, it was 73, right? 73, he's the one that hit you, right? And so what people don't understand is the very next play, like they were in I formation, they were in some sort of I or off I, which heavy tendency, they were running away from me, okay? It didn't matter if they were running away from me. I just happened to kind of luck out on that one because I was gone no matter what. I'm taking somebody out. All right. So if they were to hold that and throw the ball right where I was, they probably would have scored. Anyways, they ended up handing the ball off, play away. I ran in so hard. I'm telling you, I hit the guard. I hit the guard so hard, he came off of his feet and went right into the fullback. The fullback went right into the running back and took the running back out. Right. And so I'm coming off the field, and Bob was like, that is a hell of a play. How did you know? I was like, shit, ask 73. Ask 73. 73 play. He created that whole play.
He was just pissed off. Pissed off. That's it. Oh, man. I honestly can't think of a big hit like that. I have one against, and it's probably, I thought it was a big hit for me. Nothing like what Briggs and Lack and safeties they do. I ain't got that full speed. Like, I ain't got those type of hits. That's why, I mean, hey, linebackers, I have tipped my head.
We're playing 5 yards deep, man.
Yes, that's tough. But I hit Vic one time, and the way I hit him, so it was a boot by the quarterback, and the tight end tried to like block me down. So I lock him out here and then rip and then run down the line. And I hit Vic, spin around, and I ended sitting on top of him, and I got a picture of it. So I'm gonna post that on Twitter. I'm gonna post a video. on Twitter of the hit I'm talking about. Bruh. Oh man, it was a great hit for me. It was a great hit for me. I don't have those big hits like that. I
don't know. You used to spin a lot. Like you were one of those guys that would clip the pile. You would clip the pile. Like you, Dominic Raiola. You guys were pile clippers. You guys would run and you would throw your body, boom, and it would always spin. It would always helicopter.
Hey, you mentioned Dominic Raiola, man. Dom's son is
at Nebraska.
Dylan. So Dylan Raiola, and then his little brother who just committed there,
Dayton, right? Yeah.
Dayton. So we're at the first game of the season here in Beaufort. At the first game of the season, I asked him about it. He up in the stands, and we up there talking about it. I'm like, man, no, why? It's like, man, I was just trying to set the tone, man. The tone, bro, the whistle. When you hear the whistle, you gotta stop. This boy didn't care nothing about no whistle.
Yeah.
And it filtered through, just like us, just like the Bears team with Olin. However Olin was, it filtered through all the O-line.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fuck was the same. However Raiola was, the whole line was like that. And I hated playing them because I'm gonna get hit late. And the ref he's gonna be the first one to me. Okay. 96. Calm down. So you saw what happened.
Right.
You saw it, and I don't see no flag. Like, what are we doing? You gonna get hurt, man.
When I would watch our scuffles at practice, You know, like I always knew, like I'm going in to make sure that my boys, our defensive guys, are okay.
Oh yeah.
And I would hear from one of the offensive guys that were in the scuffle that was like, man, I was trying to break it up. He's like, you know, did you see me? I was like, yeah, I saw how you broke it up. You put your arm around Alex's neck to remove him from the scuffle.
Okay, no. You know
ain't
nobody choking me out. Ain't nobody Draymond.
But I was right there.
Ain't nobody Draymond Greening me. Okay, ain't nobody
I was right there.
Nah.
I said, get off.
No, but I understand what you're saying.
You
there's
know what
a
I mean?
way to break it up, and there's
Right.
a way that is. It looks like you participating in this.
It looked right up like, you know, when you go back, you're like, hey, you hear them, they're like, break it up.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like you're trying to hurt a guy.
Well, you got me in the full. Break it up. Wait a minute. Hold on, bro. Like, damn. Shit. Like, come on. Like, that's not being a police. Like, nah, you ain't policing the situation.
Wow.
No chance. Man, boy, that's just going back and visiting the memories. Boy, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, those are some great stories, guys, man. I know fans are going to appreciate all that for certain. I was cracking up listening to that. So let's get into it because, as everybody knows, we're live after every game, pregame and postgame, then the Briggs and Brown Show, postgame shows every game day, and you can expect that here coming up on Sunday after the Rams game. So let's get into it, boys. Like your expectations and what you're looking at going into this Bears-Rams matchup at Soldier Field.
Well, number one, I hope that we're as healthy as we can be. You know, I think with all the issues that we had last week, to give us at least a chance, you want to be healthy. You want to be healthy. You want to have your members there, and you want to have an offensive line that can be as cohesive and and exhibit as much synergy as possible. So the more reps they can get this week together. With Coach Morgan working on those fundamentals and all the stuff that's really, really important. I think the better chance we have at applying whatever it is we want to apply. If we're going to apply that run game, we're going to apply our play action, our pass, whatever it is we need to be effective with. It starts up front.
Yep.
Well, to your point, Lance, talking about the offensive line, they're certainly up against it in the injury report. Darnell Wright did not practice. He's listed as day-to-day at this point. Keenan Allen and Kari Blasingame did return to practice. I think Blasingame getting back in the action is something that Bears fans might not go as noticed, but I think it's pretty significant. But then, Alex, I'll ask you, and then Lance, you can jump in here as well. But with Larry Borum on IR, Ryan Bates on IR, two offensive linemen that they need at this point. Now you've got Darnell Wright day-to-day, uncertainty of whether or not he'll play. What would you do here if you're Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus on trying to figure out how you want to do the right side of the line? Are you doing Karan Amagaji, a third-round pick that hasn't practiced much because he's been injured, starting at right tackle as a rookie, or do you bump Matt Pryor out to right tackle, let Nate Davis get back in at right guard, trying to shake out, because Matt Eberflus said trying to find our best five on the offensive line. How do you go about doing that this week?
I don't think there's any one way to do it. I think you try all of it until you figure out the most cohesive unit that's playing the best football together. You have to continue to try it and see what works. Now, this is when you figure out if Waldron, Eberflus, and that coaching staff on the offensive side of football is worth the money they're being paid, because anybody can coach the damn 2000 St. Louis Rams, the offense. Hell, just throw them out there and let them do their thing. You know what I mean? You got Hall of Famers and Pro Bowlers at every position. Hell, you ain't got to do much. Now, when you're short-staffed and you're short-handed, some players, how are you able to keep things rolling until you start getting those pieces back? Lance played against a team that did just that back 2010, I'm going to say, when the Green Bay Packers couldn't seem to they couldn't seem to stay healthy throughout the whole season. And then they finally started to get some pieces back. They kind of held things together, and then they went on a run and won the Super Bowl, I want to say. Yeah. And they unfortunately beat y'all in the NFC Championship, right? I think that was 2010. So sorry to bring that up, but I wasn't on that team. So yeah,
it's all right. Well, it's all right. It's all right. You know what?
But so I think this is when you figure out your coaching and see it if they're worth the money they're being paid, because they got to go to work now. They got to figure out how they can protect their team and keep him upright. Because when you look at what he's been doing, he's been getting better each and every week. Now, what we have seen the last 2 weeks, he has 2 interceptions each game. That we got to get rid of, because what correlates with that, the game he didn't turn the ball over, we won against the Titans. And then the game he turned the ball over twice, you gotta take care of the football. If he takes care of the football, I think we get a chance to win, because even in those games where he turned the ball over, we still have a chance to win. So if you don't give them those plays, then I think we got an even better chance to win. We might even win one of those games. So protect the football, and we're going to see if Waldron M is worth their salt.
I think the bigger question, because as we're media, we see limited practice, or did not practice. But there's a lot of value in the walkthrough. So, if they're involved in the walkthrough, if they're in the walkthrough going through the ones, that is a sign that they're getting their quality reps. And for a lot of these veterans, you get to a point where, hell, the walkthrough was my practice my last 2 years. That was my practice, was the walkthrough, because I wasn't going to practice. I was limited for the whole doggone year, once we started really getting after it. And so the walkthrough is more indicative of what to expect from their offensive line when you have guys that are banged up and they're trying to take care of their bodies and save their bodies for the training room.
See, Bragg, see, this is the BS that I have to put up with right here. Briggs always thinking that everybody ain't at a Pro Bowl level. Everybody don't have a Pro Bowl Hall of Fame ceiling. So you can sit and watch and then go play at a Pro Bowl level. Ain't nobody on this offensive line making the Pro Bowl. Ain't nobody. Boy, you are on the Hall of Fame ballot. Okay?
Yes.
You should get in this year. I really hope you do get in. But ain't nobody on this offensive line that's on that level.
You're right.
So so why you talking about watching it and going out and
playing? It's 2024, and the league has shifted to a softer mentality.
A visual practice.
Yeah, it's the way that it's done. It's the way that it's done.
It is. It just I needed to say that, because you act like we're all in your same boat, and we are not, sir.
And depending on the coach that you have. Listen, depending on the coach that you have, when Trestman took over, all right, he wanted all of our practices to be indoor. He wanted all of our practices to be indoor. We had to convince him. Now, on the flip side, with Lovey and Dick,
we're trying to go indoor.
Right, we're like, hey, you think we can go indoor once this week? And
it's a negative 12 out here.
Yeah,
yeah.
For this guy, it's like, hey, coach, we're an outside team. We really need to be outside. So it really depends on the mentality of who's in charge too.
Well, let me ask you guys this. A lot of fans and media are talking about this, but Roschon Johnson certainly got an uptick in looks and felt like he provided a little bit of a spark and some thump in there, with DeAndre Swift's kind of struggling behind that offensive line to find his groove. And trying to find some identity with the running game. Do you think that they need to start looking at Roschon Johnson as a guy that can kind of set the tone? You guys talked about setting the tone earlier, talking about your other stories, from back in the day. Is Roschon Johnson the type of guy that can set the tone for this offense here on Sunday?
I don't think there's any question. Roschon's he is going to split the carries 100%. He'll split the carries for sure going into this game, and maybe the third down will be Swift. Let's say 3rd and 4 or more. Now I'll have Swift in there, but I am definitely getting Roschon more involved. I think he's more of a downhill runner. He's a He's a stronger runner. I think he can break arm tackles, and I have not seen that out of Swift yet. Actually, I don't think Swift has been kind of bad. He's been really bad. Now, the offensive line ain't blocking a whole lot, but hell, he's been really, really bad.
I'm not giving up on Swift. You pay good money. You pay good money for him. And what I did see, there were plays where he did look very explosive, and he took a screen pass and got up to the second level fast. I think he is underutilized. I think in a way, I think he's underutilized. I think you use him in a lot of different ways, unique ways. You know, and when I mention Swift, I think of the Detroit Lions, you know, and how they use Jahmyr Gibbs, you know, and I think that he can be used in a lot of those similar ways. It has been a struggle because up front, you know, that's just, we know where we're at up front.
Yeah, we don't have Penei Sewell.
Right. You're right. You're right.
Oh yeah, it's a lot different.
But you know, the crazy thing about that, man, and man, I don't know how many times we're gonna continue to go back and say what we could have done, you know. But the opportunities to build that line, and when you say, man, when I say, look, we have a DeAndre Swift that I'm not giving up on. He hasn't had a good start to the year, but I have seen some clips of him being very explosive. You know, we load that doggone line, the things that we would be able to do with the players that we could have had outside of Rome Odunze. Okay, outside of him, I'm just saying the players that we still would have had, there's so much we would have been able to do production-wise.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some, you know, Shane Waldron's at the podium. Those of you that are obviously going to be tuning into this tonight, but we're recording this early, and Shane Waldron is at the podium right now, kind of talking about some of this stuff you guys are talking about. Shane Waldron talking about the running game, saying, I think for us, it's the rhythm of the run game, trusting it. We've done a great job in practice reps, but not executing it in games. And when he talked about that 4th and 1 play that we're all still pretty upset about, he said, not getting into the schematics on every play, but I have to put us in a better position. And then finally, when asked about DeAndre Carter having to be the guy that blocked on the edge for a couple of those goal line carries, trying to put DeAndre Carter up against the defensive end, he said, Shane Waldron, and I quote, we can do a better job. DeAndre will do anything asked of him, but that's one of those moments we can do better as a coaching staff. So some accountability coming from your play caller and offensive coordinator, but obviously still trying to figure out how they want to put their personnel in the right positions to make plays.
Well, my follow-up question would have been, did you think that was going to work in the first place with DeAndre Carter coming across and knowing he have to block that defensive end?
Because you didn't break the huddle till 10 seconds.
No. I'm talking about on Wednesday when you ran that on Wednesday.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
Like, why did you think that would work? Like, I don't know. Hopefully they've gotten rid of that for this upcoming week. I don't want DeAndre Carter blocking anything.
How do you get a whole offensive coaching staff to sign off on that? There's not a receiver coach just like, listen, coach, what are we doing?
Yes.
Is this what we're going to do?
Mercedes is right there on the sideline.
Yeah.
He can motion and pick up that defensive end from there.
Come on.
Forget the personnel.
There's not a coaching staff in this world that you and I would be in, and we would see a fallacy like that on tape and not speak up and say, coaches, this is not going to work.
Right.
Listen, now, if that's what you want to do, because you know, hey, you're the DC, you know, I'm going to put this out there and say, listen, we have a problem here.
Like or a bigger receiver. Don't get your smallest receiver to do this.
Right.
You saw this last year. They did it with Tyler Scott and Darnell Mooney time and again, trying to get those guys to block the edge. At one point last year against the New Orleans Saints, actually on a touchdown pass to Cole Kmet, Tyler Scott was blocking the top defensive end for the New Orleans Saints, and he got the job done, but barely. I mean, you're really
Cam Jordan should be ashamed of himself if he let that happen.
Alex, you never let a wide receiver block you on the edge, right?
No, I ain't gonna say that now because see the people they'll fact check me and they'll find
absolutely
where Hines Ward probably had me hemmed up.
Did not put
Hines Ward had me hemmed up on the sideline, so I ain't gonna say that.
David Boston had him, boy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say that.
David Boston had you in handcuffs.
Yeah, you never know. There's a lot of plays. There's a lot of football plays, and stuff happens.
It does. It does.
Well, you're talking about coaching, and to me, I think the biggest matchup of this game is off on the sidelines, where you have Sean McVay versus Matt Eberflus.
Yep.
Obviously, a lot of questions going on with our coaching staff right now, but Matt Eberflus has implemented a pretty damn good defense so far this year. Sean McVay's reputation speaks for itself. Lance, I'll start with you, man. What are your expectations of this matchup and the chess match that'll go on between these two?
I can tell you right now, if we don't have our stuff together, all right, Sean McVay is sunning coaches after games every week. All right, I don't know if you saw him. He sunned Shanahan. He sunned Shanahan, had the hand over the head after the handshake. Like, hey man, you'll be all right, buddy. You'll be all right, buddy. All right? You're gonna find yourself on the bad end of a sunning head toss from McVay. We don't get our stuff together. That's what I do know. We have to commit to the run. I don't know about this rhythm stuff. I don't like what is rhythm to me. Like what beat are we talking to? Are we talking a EDM beat? Are we talking an Afro Latino beat? I don't know what we're talking about. All right. What I'm looking for is a commitment to actually pushing the pile and getting positive yards and being okay with saying, okay, 4 yards or more we are happy with that. We're happy with that, and that's going to set up what we're going to do next.
Yeah, I think Eberflus is going to have his hands full. I also think McVay going to have his hands full because I think Eberflus is very good on defense. As a defensive, calling defensive plays or getting his defense ready to play at a high level. I think he's very good at adjusting at halftime. But in this particular game, I'm hoping that he understands he might have to adjust after the first quarter because McVay is really, really good at scheming. And when you got a guy like Cooper Kupp and he becomes a household name, and then you put in a guy like Puka Nacua and he becomes a household name over a year, it turns into scheme. And you have to figure out who they're trying to get to be that guy. Is it going to be Demarcus Robinson? Is it going to be Tutu? I think it's Tutu Atwell. I think his name. I think that's his name. Who is it going to be? But like Lance said, you got to stop the run. Kyron Williams is going to. He is at this point with all the injuries they have on offense. Is going to be Kyron Williams, and then getting after you. You cannot, a veteran quarterback like Matthew Stafford, you cannot allow him to sit back there and not be harassed in the pocket because he will deliver the football. And if you allow that, you'll get beat, and you'll get beat soundly. So we got to make sure that front four, they come ready to play. They come ready to play, getting off blocks, making plays, stopping the run with 6. We can stop the run with 6. That'll make it a lot easier on the back end to cover these guys and cover these different route concepts, route combos. It'll make it a lot easier because McVay, he gonna be ready now. He's gonna be ready. This is a challenge for him. And when you got an offensive coordinator, I mean, you got that challenge. Like, can I do it without my top 2 guys in Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua? Right? Can I make it happen? I sent you guys Gerald Everett, right? So he's now on your team. I can do it without them. I can make it happen without him, and I think that's a challenge that he's going to be ready for.
It's part of the fun part of breaking down and finding the tendency and saying, okay, what kind of team has this Rams offense become because of injuries, and what have they needed to do in order to be successful? It'll show. You know, when you're missing receivers like that, you know, there are certain things that you have to do in order to produce and find ways to win. And that's one of the things they have been able to do, you know, in these first 3 weeks. So how have they been able to do it? And how have they been able to do it with injuries to some of their best players? All right. And because of that, now, you know, going into week 4, you have you've shown your hand now. So who you are in going into week 4, there are now heavy tendencies, and now you can look at who's getting the ball, personnel, player wise. You know who's a stud up front. Who maybe there's a reason why they're running right all the time or more than they run left. You know, what are they using? Are they getting the ball out to the receivers because they can't just run power offense, or do they really believe in and they commit to that run to set everything else up? They have a hell of a quarterback also in Stanford.
Correct. And that's where I was going to go with that, because last week with Richardson, they don't want to put that pressure on Richardson to go win the football game. They want to run it. So they got to keep Jonathan Taylor involved throughout the game. If you shut down Kyron Williams, they can give it to Matthew Stafford and say, go win it. Throw the ball 52 times in the game and let's go win the football game. I think they have confidence that he can go do that. So you got to be good. You got to be sound in the run. You got to stop the run. You give up 100 yards rushing in this game, I don't think they win. I don't. You got to stop the run. So you make them one-dimensional. Now we can get after the quarterback, and you got to sack. You got to sack Stafford. Gosh, I see them throwing the ball at least 43 times.
Bro, here's a crazy stat about Matthew Stafford. Okay, when Matthew Stafford was at Detroit, okay, he would go under center. And when he was under center and his feet were even, it was 100% read. It was a run. If his foot was back, it was 100% read. It was pass. And we looked, we're getting ready. Obviously, we play the Lions each year, but we're looking at, this is a young Matt Stafford. This is a young Matt Stafford. And I'm like, man, we are in week 6 or 7 now. He's done it every game. We're like it's 100% key. Why isn't anybody telling him this? You know, or is it, you know what I mean? And so in the game, man, I'm telling you, I'm 3 yards in the backfield, man. I'm like, looks like run. You know what I mean? And he ended up fixing that. He ended up fixing it into that year, like toward the back end of that year. But you know, just show you how far he's come in the game. You know, I mean, guys won a Super Bowl, you know, and just like you said, if, you know, they want to give it to him to win this game. So you can run the ball. You can commit to run game, because whenever you need Stafford's arm, it's there. It's there to burn whatever, or torch whatever defense isn't ready.
What's crazy is that when you say that, I think it gives everybody watching, it gives the fans an idea of just how detailed we are and looking for any advantage that we can take advantage of throughout a football game. I don't give a damn if you get up and you remember, and I know everybody remember this guy, Antonio Brown, when he came up as a receiver and he put his hands, he did this right here. He getting them gloves tight. Yeah, it's a pass. It might not go to him, but it's a pass.
But it's a pass.
When he don't do it, it's a run. And it's like, really? Like, this is crazy. Like, little stuff. Anything that can give me an advantage, his feet being even and then slightly off, like, it gave me 100%.
You're always looking for the 100%.
100% is over, because I'm all in. I'm going for it.
Here's a 100% tendency that sucked. All right, now we're playing against the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers. We're looking for something, right? Aaron Rodgers, when he drops straight back and throws the ball, he's got 100%, completion rate. All right, and then to the right and to the left, it's like 99.7. 99.7, okay? When he scrambles to his right, it's 99.8, okay? So we're like, all right, well, what about when he scrambles? When he scrambles to his left, it's 99.3. So when we're looking at it, we're like, oh, he doesn't miss. No matter what he's doing, he doesn't miss, all right? Because you want to find something, a quarterback that scrambles. Okay, so we can get him to scramble to his left. He's right-handed, his accuracy goes down a bit. Couldn't find one. We couldn't find it.
We played Minnesota at their place, and it was right after Bernard Berrien had left. He had left the Bears and got a nice little contract, a nice big contract actually, up in Minnesota. And I think Peanut, I might get this wrong, so Peanut, correct me if I'm wrong here. But when it's 2-by-2 and the quarterback drop back and it looks right and he comes back left, he never throws to one. Never.
I was on the field, and I remember before the game, Peanut said, I'm a little nervous about this play. I'm a little nervous about it. You know what I mean? I remember.
When I tell you, we're on the 1 yard line, y'all. We're on the 1 yard line. 2-by-2, quarterback drop back, and I'll be damned if he ain't look right. Came back left, and Peanut squeezed from there. Once he looked right, you come off your guy and go to 2 because he never goes to 1 ever. And I'm gonna tell you, it was our fault as a defensive line because we didn't get pressure on him. So he was able to go right, come back left, then see 1, and then throw it to 1. That's too much time for the defensive line. So I take some beef.
That was Brett Favre.
No, I don't know if it was.
That was Brett Favre.
Was it? Oh,
yes, they went to the NFC Championship game.
I was dying. Like, this is nuts. Like, and I'm hot at Peanut. And then he explained it to him on the sideline. All right, 100%. 100%, AB. All right, fuck, man. Damn. Like, all right.
He talked to me about that play. And he said, he's like, they have he's like, this is what it says. He said, but I'm nervous because Brett Favre, you know what I mean? Like, it's Brett Favre. And I just, I'm nervous about this because I can get hung out on this. And of course, when I look up and I see Bernard going, and I'm loafing on the way because I don't know how to catch it.
Hey, listen, we played with Bernard for 4 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody catching him now. Ain't nobody catching him. He gone.
But you don't want to be but you never want to be on film.
Loafing.
Not at least heading that way. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in the Glen, so I'm at least
high knees. So, final question for you guys. Basically, is Sunday a must-win in your guys' eyes? Bears sitting at 1-2, trying to get back to 500. It is still early in the season, but when you consider the schedule, the second half of the year, compared to what you have to do the first half of the year, do you guys consider this game a must-win?
I don't personally. I think it's a little more important than just a normal win. I think that when it comes down to it, it will be the Rams and the Bears will be right there as far as maybe that last 2 to get in. And you want to have this win under your belt if it comes down to a tiebreaker between you and the Rams. So in that sense, I think it would be a really good win to have. And when you say must win, I just think if you don't win it, the season's over. And I don't believe that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the last 2 games have been frustrating, but they were 2 road games and they were 2 AFC games as well. So now you're playing within your conference and you have a home game. Lance, where do you stand? Must win?
Every week is a must win. And it shouldn't be treated any lighter than that. Okay. Anybody treats a football game on Sunday, lighter than a must win. All right. Listen,
we're not playing.
I can't use it. Like my good man Mike Singletary says, I don't want them. Can't use them. We go out there to win. You go out
we're not playing. We're analysts.
Hold on, man. Didn't he ask me why are you? But you had the floor, and I was silent. And now you want to cut me off because you don't care about a win, huh? All right. Be that guy. It's fine.
Briggs is coach speaking you now, Alex. Briggs is in the trenches. He's a coach right now. So
Briggs. No, you know what I did, Briggs? I coached McVay right here. There you go, big guy. Here you go. Move out of the way, huh?
Yeah, you gotta. There you go, little buddy. There you go, little buddy.
Fine. Yep.
Let me ask you guys.
I can't argue.
Let me ask you guys this before we wrap things up. It's been a great show. I don't know if you guys do have any thoughts on this, but Derrick Rose retired today. Obviously, a Chicago sports legend, Chicago Bulls legend here, a Chicago legend in of himself. You know, grew up on the south side of Chicago, went to Simeon, and you know, was, you know, is obviously a hometown favorite. You guys played back in his high school days as he was starting to come up, and his legend was kind of growing even before he was a freshman at Simeon. Do you guys have any stories about Derrick Rose or any thoughts on his retirement?
What I remember the most, I just remember the way that the city glowed for this kid, you know, and all of us were, you know, his rookie year was something. It was unbelievable. You know, it was unbelievable, but it was one of those deals where if Jordan had that kind of effect on the city when he was drafted, this kid had that kind of effect. Like, man, I think this kid can have a similar effect on the Chicago Bears future like Jordan had in the 90s. So, you know, we finally got the piece that we need that we can build around. We can build around and we can build championships through this kid. And, you know, unfortunately he got injured, you know, that really bad injury and didn't, you know, he had to really change his game, and it took time for him to change his game to what would have been effective in the league. But he was a thing to watch. He was something to watch. He was fun. He was unstoppable that year, and he brought a lot of joy to Chicago.
Oh, no doubt. I'm just happy I was able to. I was in town. I was in Chicago and was able to witness it firsthand. To see him, that MVP season he had was just unreal. Gosh, we're talking about Russell Westbrook before Russell Westbrook type of deal where he was scoring at will. There wasn't a guard. There wasn't a guard that could touch him. They didn't want to guard him. He was so fast, so strong, so explosive. Coming out of Memphis, I remember watching that national championship game, or I think they lost the national championship. They should have won that thing. And when they lost it, it's like the Bears or the Bulls got the number one pick. It's like, this kid's coming here. This kid's gonna come here. Like, wait a minute, he's from here too? Man, crazy. Right? You start to feel, because that's a different feel. Like you start to wonder about the kid. Like, is he gonna be able to handle it, right? He's gonna be able to handle being at home and being the guy, the face of a franchise. And I don't think he missed a beat, honestly, man. I mean, I never got to the point where I was anywhere in his personal life or how he handled himself outside the court, but on the court and how he, the professional he was that I saw on TV and went to games and saw. I mean, the guy was unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
One of the funniest parts though was when I don't think it was the All-Star introductions, and you had LeBron and a couple of guys that are on the floor dancing. He was all business. Yeah, all business. Yep. All business. Yeah, I'm here to win. I'm here to get this MVP, baby. Because you know somebody was back there like, hey, listen, when you bring it up, there's gonna be some music. Hey, we want you guys just chum it up a little bit. Have a few dance moves. I'm not dancing.
Nah, D-Rose ain't do that. D-Rose ain't do that, man. He just that wasn't him, man. How I saw him, he was a quiet kid that loved basketball. He didn't want all the other stuff. He loved basketball and wanted to play basketball, go home. Go chill, go football or whatever. Like, you just phenomenal. Like what Briggs said. I mean, he got hurt, and it makes you think, like, God dang, what if he didn't get hurt? Like, how many MVPs he would have won if he would have brought that elusive NBA title back to Chicago that they haven't seen since.
Like AI, it was just like Allen Iverson.
Yep.
But so much more explosive, bro. So much. Because he dunked on what was the little point guard he dunked on with two hands?
Goran Dragic.
Oh my God. Like, he dunked on him. That was so disgusting. So disgusting.
Get up or get out the way. And it goes to show you, because it does feel like there's a strong likelihood his number one gets retired and hung in the rafters.
Strong likelihood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some fans, for whatever reason, I would put it up tomorrow if it were up to me. But it also goes to show you the impact he had because, you know, his injury was very early in his career. So it's almost Gale Sayers-ish, and I hate saying that, but it's just the truth of just this undeniable talent, guy that makes it to the Hall of Fame, but his career was cut short because of injuries. But even beside all that, because his resume doesn't have the stats that he should have had, everyone acknowledges who he was and now is going to be hung in the rafters next to Jordan and Pippen and Bob Love and the greatest to ever put on a Bulls uniform, youngest MVP of all time. Yep. You know, born and raised south side of Chicago. So yeah, it's you know, it's really cool. Hats off to D Rose. Congrats on his retirement. And I guess I would ask you too, if you two were playing one-on-one in basketball, who's winning that game?
I would dunk on him every time.
It would never dunk
every time.
The one thing I can guarantee, Briggs like Braggs. All right, Briggs like Braggs. Just one letter. He will not ever dunk on me. All right, I'm a football player playing basketball. All right, and listen, at all costs, I'm gonna foul you. I'm a hard foul you, and I hope that we're playing in front of a garage door too, because I'm gonna mush you right into that garage door. All right, we will leave this. We both gonna leave this basketball game bloodied up.
Hey, plenty of people have been dunked on on an N1. Okay,
Briggs, you're gonna let him blow by and push him into the garage door.
Braggs, he's 6'4". You think this sucker's? I'm not gonna foot swipe this guy as soon as he goes up.
Foot swipe? Are we playing basketball? What are we playing? Braggs, what are we playing?
I'm gonna have him doing it. He's gonna be right here.
I tell you what we can do, we can have, the one-on-one. So, God, man, I played a little basketball in college, right? But right after high school, I played a pickup game, broke my foot. So I got a screw in my foot right now to this day.
Trying to dunk on somebody.
My foot from playing basketball. Yep. And I ain't playing basketball. Now we can shoot. We can play horse. But as far as a one-on-one game, I'm not playing because of people like you. You want to mush somebody into the damn garage, bruh. Or you want to foot swipe me. That's not basketball.
Well, don't brag. Don't brag that you're gonna dunk on me. If you didn't brag, if you were like, oh man, I'm just gonna stay on the perimeter, and then all of a sudden you come out dunking, that's different.
You'll get
a dunk in. You'll get a dunk in, but now my antennas are up. Now I'm ready now. So now you're going to get foot swiped and you're going to get mushed into the garage.
That's that West Coast vibe right there. From the East Coast, we're going to tell you what we're going to do, and then we're going to go out and do it. So it don't matter what you do, I'm going to still dunk on you.
It's implied. It's implied. As soon as we get out on that field, you see me start working on these forearms in warm-ups. It got nothing to do with basketball.
Braggs, he is at half court. You know how you be stretching at half court, the other team be warming up. He over there like this. Come on, what is this?
And what you do, Braggs, is you open the lane. You open the lane. See how I move like that right there? You open the lane. Go ahead. All right. Go ahead. It's right there. You're gonna dunk. It's right there.
You know you only get 5 fouls and then you out, right? You get 5.
Call him Briggs Lambier.
That's it, Briggs Lambier.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad I asked that question. So, all right. Well, definitely looking forward to the game here on Sunday. Everybody that tuned in here, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out and make sure you subscribe to the channel as always. And make sure you tune in here this Sunday for all our game day coverage, pregame, postgame, Briggs and Brown postgame show with more of this awesome analysis and all the hilarity that is attached with it. Briggsy Brown, you guys can decide who wants to close it out, but this thing's done for the day.
I want a prediction from you, Briggsy, but we can close it out. I'm going 24-20, Bears win.
Okay. All right. That's good.
What you got?
Good. I'm going to go, you said 24-20?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go 25-21, Bears win. Woo! Yeah.
You're
Woo! Let's
appreciate y'all, man. Thank
All
y'all
right,
for showing up, man. Appreciate it. Show up and show out. Let's go.
We all silly like the mayor.